Inspire.
Inspired to aspire.
Aspire.
Aspiring.
Empower.
I am empowered.
Never give up.
Let's get inspired.
Empowered by DNA. Come on, hey. Empowered by DNA.
Dialogue, networking, inspire.
Empowered by DNA.
With Nikki. With Nikki. With Nikki.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining Empowered by DNA with Nikki. Discussing dialogue, networking, aspire. We are here at LaFacial Hair and Nail Salon with the Ellen Moore. And we are here to talk shop, talk business. And so I am excited today to be here and have this dialogue and conversation with you, Ellen. Thank you so much for agreeing to join me today and have this conversation and let me in the salon, which, by the way, if you like my hair, this is where I come, 424 East Market Street, okay? So just to start off, Ellen, I want to start off by asking you, which I'm sure any person that is in this business or this in this business would want to know, how did your early life experiences shape your aspiration and career choices?
Well, as a young girl, I was born in Eastern North Carolina. For those that are from Eastern North Carolina, it's rather rural.
Okay.
I'm a child born in the early 60s. However, I did not experience segregation. So I think that was a big plus in my life. I did not deal with the white-only bathrooms and the black-only water fountains. So I think that allowed me to really be able to dream big.
Mm-hmm.
And although I was a young girl, I could still see the differences.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell that the playing field wasn't level.
Okay.
And the fact that we were, we didn't have a lot.
Okay.
So I knew that something had to be done to take care of my parents. So that was my drive, to be able to take care of my parents when they aged. So
Awesome.
I decided around maybe 12 or 13, I was like, I'm going to have my own business.
All right.
Because they make money and
Awesome.
businesses make money.
Yes,
And that's how I'm going to take care of my parents.
Awesome. That is amazing. That is amazing, Ellen. And that is selflessness, to strive to do something not only for yourself, but for someone else. So thank you so much for sharing that. One of the other things I want to start with is just if you could share a bit about what motivates you in this every day in your job, in this field that you're in.
Well, the number one motivation is I'm self-sufficient. And I pulled myself up by the bootstraps. I, finished high school. I worked in public jobs for about 10 years.
Okay.
About 10 years. And then I decided I would go to trade school.
Okay.
And so I took a cosmetology course. It's one of the trades that you can take the course, pass the boards, and be in business within a 2-year span.
Awesome.
So it's a fast track career if you go in it and you're serious.
All right. Well, thank you so much. So what I wanted to look at for just a minute that you talked about, you said you worked like for someone else for about 10 years. A lot of times people, I want to own my own business, I'm just going to jump in there. But I like the fact you said it was 10 years and then you just determined exactly what it was you wanted to do. And then you got your hustle on, as I say, and got in there, as you said, pulled yourself up. We got to get this done, and you got it done. And so talking about, being a business owner, and I guess in life in general, we all have challenges. But I know that a lot of times people look at a business owner like to walk in here, which I want to say, by the way, the shop we're in, the business we're talking about is exactly 30 years old, okay? So this isn't some overnight success we're talking about. This is some time put in. And so with that being said, surely from year 1 to year 30, there have been some challenges. And so the question I have about the challenges is, how have they shaped your resilience and determination in pursuing your goals in your personal life and for your business?
Well, first of all, when you open a business, think long and hard about the plan. Where do you want to start and where do you want to end in your career or in the type of business that you open? The motivation comes in at the fact that, it's my creation.
Mm-hmm.
It's my love. This is my baby.
Uh-huh.
And technically, really, it is. I don't have children, so this is my baby.
Uh-huh.
So with that being said, you have to have a strong faith in God, knowing that He's going to be there with you.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to give you the strength. He's going to give you the understanding. When fear and doubt step in, you have to, go back to your core of your relationship with Him, and He will guide you and lead you. You have to prepare yourself in your industry. You have to continue to do that continuing education. You have to keep up with the trends, and you have to keep up with the economy. Listen to what's going on in the economy. I've been through 2 economic downturns and a pandemic, and I'm still here. And I'm about to deal with inflation yet again for the 3rd time.
Wow.
So it changes your consumer base. It changes your supply base. Right now, before the pandemic, prices have tripled. Some cases they've doubled, and in some cases they have tripled.
Wow.
So you have to know how to bend when you need to bend and stand straight when you need to stand straight. And the main thing is to keep your doors open.
Yeah.
So sometimes you may have to cut back in some areas, but never with your customer service. Never with your will to have a good name out here in the business community, because that's what you want to keep. You want to keep a good name,
Yes.
and things of that nature. So,
Well, thank you. That's some meat. Now, that's some meat. You said a mouthful. Planning. That's a theme. Planning. And just preparing. And then you mentioned staying up on the trends of the industry that you're in. And so I always say, I think you're in a popular industry. I think it is definitely a lucrative industry. If to your point, you plan ahead, you have that great customer service, and you don't lose your integrity in this industry.
that's right.
So how do you, speaking of watching trends and making sure you are a step ahead and that you're kind of in that vein of where the industry is going, how do you keep up with that?
Okay, you have within your industry, you have trade magazines. Right now, you have your websites that keep you on point. You got to understand what's going on as far as the chemical services that are out there, what's trending and what's not trending. So right now, relaxers are not trending. They're getting a bad rap in the media.
Oh, wow.
That they're dangerous, that they're causing problems. And quite frankly, I'm kind of irritated by that, because this information is floating. No one's coming to the cosmetologist. No one's giving us this information as to how dangerous they're supposed to be.
Right.
And they're giving mixed signals. There's a difference between relaxers and straighteners. One moment they're saying relaxers, and the next minute they're saying straighteners. And I think it's all a part to confuse the consumer, because there's a market share out there. A lot of money has been invested in the natural hair care business. So if women decide that they want to switch back from that, there's going to be a lot of products left on the shelf. So I think a lot of it is market share, trying to persuade the consumer to go in one direction versus the other direction.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm here to tell you.
And also there's a thing out there called deregulation. Back in the late 90s, going into the early 2000s, there were industries that they were considering deregulating. And that means that we're regulated by a state board. Okay, so if they decide that, you know, there's no need to have that entity out there to regulate salons, salons don't need to be regulated anymore. Okay.
Wow.
Hence, people can watch how to do hair all day long, how to comb down baby hair all day long, how to put on eyebrows all day long. And I feel like it's a ploy to push the professional African American hair care professional out of business.
You said a mouthful, and I agree with you. I think that, I know for me and my hair, I need to know somebody went to school and that they are following the proper protocol and they have the licensing. To me, going in a hair salon without that grade, that certificate sitting up there is like going in a restaurant that hadn't had a health department come through yet, right? And so I agree, and that is why, to your point, you've got to keep up with those trends. You've got to study your industry, know the industry you're in, and be prepared and ready for it. And as a consumer, understand the consumer, to me, regardless of how much you want to deregulate something, as a consumer myself, I don't want to spend money. I'm definitely not going to pay what I would pay a skilled cosmetologist, a non-skilled cosmetologist. And then to your point, these relaxers are chemicals. The straighteners are chemicals, and you and I have talked. You know, I am so amazed at your knowledge of the chemistry of these relaxers and how the coloring and all of this stuff mixed with your hair. Like, she gets down to the science, you all. And I agree, we need that regulation. You're talking about, and this is my personal opinion, okay? I haven't read it anywhere, but in my personal opinion, I think we have issues with relaxers and straighteners because you have people who have not gone to get the skill and have that education information on the science of the chemical in which they're using. So maybe they're using too much, maybe they're not rinsing it out correctly, maybe they're not doing it correctly, and so now you have all of this stuff falling back on the companies that create these things. So thank you so much for that. That's some great information there, especially for you that may be looking at owning your own business, specifically in this industry. Listen, get your skill, get your knowledge. The Word of God tells us we perish for the lack of knowledge. Get it. Get all you can. I just believe if you are passionate about something, you ought to want to know all that you can about that. And so in speaking about the industry, how has this industry evolved over the years, and what key factors do you think have driven these changes?
Well, over the years, like I said, 30 years ago when I finished the course, that was the thing. You went to the beauty salon weekly, bi-weekly. It was mainly relaxers were the chemical of choice, and of course your hair coloring, it has always been there. And we didn't have any competition. However, 30 years later, you got the braiding, you got locking, you got natural hair care, the wigs look better, you got YouTube is a factor.
Wow.
It's just so many things pulling at our industry. That's it's a fight out here right now. But if you know your craft, if you have your license and you know your craft and you've studied your course, you know what to do. Just like when COVID came out, those of us who are licensed, serious cosmetologists, we knew what to do.
Oh, yes.
To stop the spread, because that's also a part of our license. We are not to pass on communicable diseases.
Wow, listen to that.
We have the product, we have the knowledge, and we know how to stop, slow down, or either slow down the passing on of viruses and diseases.
Wow.
as well as with scalp conditions. You have scalp conditions that people have that, if not handled correctly, you can pass on a scalp disorder, a condition, to another client if you don't know the proper way to sanitize and disinfect.
My goodness. You see why this is where I come to get my hair relaxed? Which, by the way, I'll probably be in a relaxer till, whenever. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't do it. You do what you do. I'm going to keep doing what I do. All right. So the last two questions I have before we end this is, how did you navigate your career path to reach your current position? And then, of course, what lessons have you learned along the way? I know, again, I believe that I have a lot of different viewers, intergenerational. And you got some that's been in it and some trying to get in it, some trying to sustain it. So how do we get here 30 years later?
Well, so far we have talked about the course and the customer service and the care. But the elephant in the room is the finances.
Ooh,
okay.
That's a big word.
My recipe, y'all, get a pencil and write this down.
Get it down.
My recipe is thirds. 3/3 make a whole. 1/3 stays in your business, 1/3 for you to live off of personally, and 1/3 savings.
My goodness, I hope y'all wrote that down. I'm writing it down.
Now, are things going to come up along the way? Of course they are. But the third in the business never changes. That business is going to always get her third.
All right.
And then the third that I live off of, I can alter that.
Right.
And the third that I save, I can alter that. And when times are lean, all the thirds are healthy and fat and healthy.
Yes.
But when times get slow, then you have to alter a little bit. But keep up with your money, because it takes money to invest and grow and get bigger, or to sustain and to keep the doors open. It takes money, because you got to keep the salon doors open. You got to keep your product level up. So it's really about the money. And from the day I got started, I had a lady invest in me, and we did a turnkey deal. And the deal was, I bought the contents of the salon, and then we switched over the key at the real estate management office. We turned over the key to me. So I bought her contents, and then we went to the real estate office and we switched the lease over. And so I was able to go to work immediately.
Oh, wow.
And that's called a turnkey deal, which I think is what I'm going to do at the time that I decide I'm going to hang up my apron. I think that's what I'll do.
Oh, awesome.
So,
don't do it too soon.
not anytime soon, but that was the best thing, that ever happened to me. And it was so fast. I finished the course in May 1993. I took the boards and passed July 1993, and I opened the doors to my salon September 1993.
Amazing.
And I've been moving right along. And it's just stay steadfast, just keep coming in and going to work and making your money and putting it back. I think sometimes we have this thing where we live in a material world. Oh, I got a business. I got a business, so I'm gonna drive a Bentley. I'm gonna drive a Lexus. I'm not saying you shouldn't drive that, but surely you don't want to drive that the first year you open.
Right. Come on, help somebody. We're gonna learn today.
So I think you pace yourself and you live the life you want to live. Don't pay attention to what is going on around you. Decide what it is that you want to do. Decide how you want to live. And like I said, keep control of that money, because this is what they call a cash cow business for the most part. It's changed now with the credit card machines and everything being accessible, but it's still pretty much you're on your own. Nobody's looking down over your back, and money goes so fast. So you know, be disciplined with your finances. And you can make it, you'll go a long way to stay disciplined with your finances. Because Miss Ella gonna be here until she don't want to be here anymore because I'm disciplined with my finances.
I'm saying, and traveling everywhere. We talk about everywhere. Say it again, everywhere.
And I remember there was a time you couldn't pay me to be out of my salon on a Friday or a Saturday. It's not happening. I finally relaxed on that in the last 10 years. But the first 20, I was not. And I missed out on some things. I missed out on some occasions. I missed out on some things with being with my family. But now I can make up for that. But yeah, you got to put the business first.
Yeah. Gotta put your work in first. So we're hearing from what I would call a veteran in this industry. Okay, 30 years and still kicking it. Let me tell you, still laying these heads down. Got us walking out slayed every
getting
time.
New clients. Got a new client on Saturday.
Whoop whoop! Look at that. See what I'm saying?
Still getting new clients.
Still integrity, amazing customer service, a safe place. Look, you come in here, I feel peace. We ain't got a whole lot of stuff going on in here.
This is a networking salon. So in here we talk about who's hiring, who's the Girl Scout cookie sale going on right now.
Yes.
We're always trying to help people. We talk about, we talk about the Lord for those of who that want to partake. We just help each other.
Yes.
I
have to agree with that.
We do a lot of networking and with organizations and nonprofits and who needs help with this or that, or
See why she's on Empowered by DNA. all the networking and stuff. So we've heard a mouthful today, but we definitely need to take away planning. Right? So if you're that person that wants to be in this industry or any other industry and you want to work for yourself, Ellen Moore has just shared that with us. And it doesn't have to be this industry. Those principles are yes.
And one other thing I would like to add, as a business professional,
okay,
go out here and get on some boards. Be a board of director. Get on some boards. Get on some committees with the city. Be on some committees in your church. Work in your community. Build your reputation by being out there and being a source and a force for your community.
All right, amen to that one. Yes. So see, we're planning, and those finances, keep those tight. A third to your business, a third to yourself, and a third to your savings, right? And when times are tight, as we've experienced and probably will continue to experience right now, you can manipulate and do what you need to do with your personal and your savings. But business must be fed. So you got to keep your money there. That you should have written that down, because I don't care what industry.
That's a tip.
That could be your personal, right? That's something you need to write down, take it on with you. Personal, industry, whatever you were doing, that was some information. We should have did that for 1995. But definitely we thank you, Ellen, for just coming and sharing that this is some good stuff to chew on. And so truly the dialogue here has been amazing. And so if you aspire to do this, listen, you just got a starter kit here on Empowered by DNA. So my last question is, if you could give someone a piece of advice, what would it be for someone? And I know you've given us a lot, but what would you tell somebody right now that might say, I don't have it, I don't know where to begin, how do I start? Or even someone in the moment that might be at that breaking point where they're like, I quit, I can't do this anymore.
I would say seek God and pray, because I do know He will give you the desires of your heart.
Oh yes.
Having my own business was a desire in my heart. I have it.
Yes, you do.
There's another thing that I'm getting ready to work on that's a desire in my heart. And I spoke on it last year, and I've been asking the Lord, this is what I want to do next. This is what I want to do next. And I can't share it all, but I'm just saying, It's a desire in my heart,
Mm-hmm.
and things have started falling into place.
Mm.
And it's going to come
Mm-hmm.
to the light.
Oh, yeah.
But pray, ask God, seek God, read, find you some information on what it is that you want to do and
Mhm.
read about it. Read up on it.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody.
Yes.
If there's a business mentor out there, go and talk to them.
Yes.
Start handling your money like you're running a business already.
That's it. That part. All right. Well, with that being said, I don't know what else I can say behind that except for listen, if you're looking for a mentor or networking, or maybe you are looking for a place to come and get your hair styled and be taken care of, LaFacial Hair and Nail Salon is where you want to be, and it is 424 East Market Street here in Greensboro, one of our community small businesses but mighty businesses. So we do invite you, 30 years and still kicking. So you definitely want to stop by here. This is where I go, so I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. So again, Ellen, thank you so much for being on Empowered by DNA. We're talking about dialogue, networking, and aspire. See you again real soon. Bye.